In this video, we'll dive into everything you need to know about setting the default language for your Shopify store. We'll start by explaining what the default language is and how it impacts both the display of your store and your SEO performance. Next, we'll address a common issue many store owners face: what if my website's default language version includes mixed languages? We'll guide you through practical solutions to ensure your content remains consistent and properly translated across different languages. Firstly, what is default language? The default language is the primary language set for your Shopify store. You can find and adjust this setting in your store's admin panel under Settings, Languages. Also, this is the source language you use to translate into other language versions. From the store display perspective, the language displayed to visitors will follow this order. 1. Geolocation redirected language, the language based on the user's geographic location. 2. Market default language, the default language set for the market. 3. Store default language, the default language of your store. For example, if your store's default language is English and you've set up geolocation redirection, visitors from the German market will be redirected to German according to IP. If you haven't set geolocation but have configured the German market's default language as German, visitors from the German market will be redirected to German. If neither geolocation nor market-specific settings are configured, visitors from the German will see the default language of the store, which in this case is English. From the SEO perspective, your default language doesn't directly impact SEO rankings. Rankings depend on how well the SEO for your primary market's default language is optimized. If your store's default language is already configured, there's no need to change it. Instead, focus on 1. Set the default language for each main market individually. 2. Optimize SEO for the default language version of your primary market. Section 2. What if my default language content includes mixed languages? When setting up a Shopify store, some merchants mistakenly select the default language based on their target market instead of the language in which their content is written. This can lead to a situation where your store's source content includes mixed languages, products written in German while the default language is English. To unify your store content into one consistent language, you can take the following approaches. Option 1. Change the default language to the language you have written in your store. Step 1. Change the default language. Go to Settings, Languages, Published Languages. Click Change Default and select the language your content is primarily written in. Here we change the default language from English to German. Once changed, your product/blog content entered in German will remain unchanged. They will display the content you've entered, in German. The theme, checkout, and other elements will also display in German, with text provided by Shopify. Some content provided by the theme, such as navigation, does not have a German version provided by Shopify. You needs to be manually edited into German in theme. Don't worry, this content is minimal. Step 2. Adding and translating your previous default language in Langwill. Once the translation is complete, your English version will display correctly. We recommend this method as it ensures all your language versions function properly. Option 2. Using Langwill to translate the default language. Simply add the language in Langwill, and it will handle translations seamlessly. Please note that Shopify does not support creating two versions of the same language, so Langwill's default language translation does not generate translation text. The process works as follows. When your customers visit your store in default language page, Langwill uses the browser's translation plugin to translate your store's content into English. This is done using the browser's built-in translation tool.